All right.
Okay, all right. It's a little after 6, getting started. It was a nice little group. Many people have been with us. So some of them have been with us a little bit. Monica and Kathy and Marion, and then Bobby's looked a little bit in this direction. So the reality that you desire already exists. What the heck is that about? We're going to unpack that tonight, and I think this is going to help a lot.
Mhm.
And so don't worry, you don't need to take notes or anything. And I'm really glad to see all your faces. It's been a while, Marion, a couple months. You're back. So it's great to see everybody. Longtime friends, Bobby. You've known Bobby for 10 years? I don't know.
Yeah.
And we got Florida, we got Jeff Des Moines, we got Missouri, we got Bobby, Florida, Southern California. Harry, where are you from? You want to type that in? Oh, Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, Detroit.
Local Detroit. Okay. Is that Harry, the one we talked? Okay. So, Jocelyn, welcome everybody. So we're going to get started. So you're driving, no problem.
And this is getting recorded too, so for playback later.
So we'd love to, where do you want to start? Just tell everybody we love them. Stoked that they're on the call. There's some really, really good friends of ours. And Jeff, we just reconnected from 3 or 4 years ago, just recently. So very good. So you want to talk about how we want to begin with the end in mind. The reality you desire already exists. We're going to get to that a little bit towards the end. So stay to the end because we're going to do some very cool processes, or I don't call it process, but we're going to share an understanding that allow you to almost have a process, but allow you to go experience something that some people rarely experience, and it works for it works for anything. I had a cold and I had a fever yesterday. Mm-hmm. I was in bed all day yesterday. I had a fever, headache, body aches. Couldn't eat, coughing all night, chest pains, and I did this process for 30 minutes in the middle of the night, and it's 90% gone. I actually worked out, went to the dojo today. So it works on health, it works on relations, it works on anything, because what it does, we're going to share with you something that's what's different than other type of coaching. Mm-hmm. And you want to talk, do you have a picture of Citibank?
I don't have a picture. I can pull it up.
Okay. So how this came about, and we're gonna tell you a little bit, the background of all this. So it's very helpful for you to understand the background, the underlying understanding of this. 3 principles understanding, we call it. And then when you understand that, so we'll go into that for 20 or 30 minutes, and then we'll go into a different understanding about the reality you desire already exists. And we're having people have miraculous overnight crazy gains.
Yeah.
Sometimes even overnight.
Yeah.
But experience peace of mind right away. So we'll talk about that, and then and then we're going to talk about something at the end if we can get to it. If I forget, somebody remind me. We're launching something that you may want to. We have some resources that you may want to access, and we promise you we'll save some time at the end to share. We have free resources. We have a digital course coming up, and all kinds of really cool stuff. We're in the pre-launch stages of that. So we'll get to that. But this isn't going to be a 45-minute sales pitch. It's going to be meat and potatoes. Do you want to start your background, my background, or your background?
Yeah.
So most of you know us. There's just a few that don't. Actually, I think everybody does. But just because we're recording it, I grew up. Okay, I grew up in the Valley, Silicon Valley, which wasn't prosperous then. It was Mountain View. It was discussed. We're on welfare, very poor family, welfare, food stamps, housing project kind of thing, and not a lot of self-esteem, and no money, zero. Our house rent for 6 kids and a mom was $22 a month. So you can imagine it wasn't a real nice place. That city has changed since then, but we left. And so single mom. So I grew up wanting to have success and personal and financial success and that kind of stuff. And I ended up going all the way to Japan in my early 20s. And I started training in martial arts. And when I was in Japan, I learned a process. Okay, I learned something in Japan that I didn't know that would be applicable to what we're doing today. In fact, I thought it was purely a martial arts thing. It's a way to understand your mind and get clarity and clear your mind and be able to be intuitive. It's a very simple process that all martial artists eventually learn. Most great athletes know this, usually intuitively. But martial arts, this is what they focus on a lot. So I used that, and I was fortunate to eventually become a champion and local, national, international champion. But I used this very process. It shifted me like overnight. So after 4 or 5 years of not being successful living in Japan, maybe the 6th year, I used this process, and it was almost doing daydreaming. It was just very easy to do. And I noticed my whole outer reality was shifting. Within a year, I won the local tournament. Then I won a city tournament, then a regional tournament, and then a national tournament. And then I got a gold medal in the net. So it just kept going very shortly after doing this process. But I thought it was only towards martial arts. So I came back to the States, started same thing in business, and I had no success for the first 4 or 5 years, started a home-based business. And I kind of had this rock bottom, like this law of attraction stuff doesn't work. Well, maybe I'll try that thing that worked in martial arts. And I did. And it worked really well. Like my business, after complete failure for 4.5 years, it went up about 100-fold. Went from about $1,000 a month, working my butt off, living on my brother's basic couch, to within a short period of time, my income went to $20,000 a month, and then the highest, it was over $100,000 a month. And the thing is, I did much less. My work went down about 70%. My stress went down 95%. So I began to share this with business partners, and they all we had many 50 or 60 millionaires that we introduced this to, or that became millionaires. So it worked for money. And now we're realizing the last decade or so, it works for anything. Actually, anything and everything. Mm-hmm. And what about you? When did you? Oh, and then a couple years ago, 7-10 years ago, we stumbled across a teaching by a man called Sydney Banks. And I read a Western man, American man, who had an enlightening experience. And he was an insecure guy living in Canada, working in a pulp mill as a welder. He had a 9th grade education, and he had no interest in the spiritual world or success world, just an insecure man. And he had this epiphany that we'll share with you in a minute. And he came up with these 3 principles, and he had this enlightening experience that changed everything. And he started sharing this. People came all around the world to hear this message. So I realized that what he was saying was exactly what I experienced, but he explained it in 3 simple principles. So you don't have to go to Japan and break your jaw, break your knee, break your foot, break your finger. What else did I break? Crack your teeth, tear a knee out, live there for 10 years. We can show you this hopefully tonight. It can be learned usually in a couple weeks, maybe 6-week course we'll talk about, but it can be learned very easily. It's effortless, and there's no processes. There's no workshop. There's workshops. There's no workbook. There's no processes. There's no writing goals. There's no visualization, no affirmation, no nothing. There's nothing to do, just a simple understanding.
And what really was amazing, because you came to me and shared this knowledge with me, your eyes were lit because you came across something that you were unconsciously competent about back when you were in the martial art days. And this resonated so deeply, and you finally go, oh, now I truly understand how I was able to do that. I'm able to explain it to other people.
In simple terms.
It was very simple terms. And it's something that we are all we all have innate within us. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what was very appealing. And plus and you like simplicity. You like simple things. Just keep it so simple. And that's what was very appealing to you, that it was such a simple way to understand how we experience life. And that's what was very appealing to you too, without all the techniques and processes and affirmations and all that stuff. It's like, we've always been and we always admired and very passionate about growth and personal growth and what makes people thrive and win in life. But we wanted to bypass and shortcut all of the personal growth processes and all that stuff that they throw at us to learn in order to become what we already are. to be that already.
To be ourselves.
To be ourselves. It's like the shortcut. And that was very appealing too.
Yeah. And then recently we had a quote. Do you want to show that quote? There's a book. We heard a story about a woman who had been teaching this for 30 or 40 years. And she's a psychologist or psychiatrist. And she knows the mind, but she's been teaching this understanding. And one of the things she always struggled with was her weight. And she read a book by Sydney Banks called The Second Chance. We'll share that with you in a minute. And this was a couple years ago, but she'd been reading this book for decades. And she'd go on vacation, and she'd read it 60 or 70 times. Where is it now?
It's there.
Okay. And she'd read the book every vacation. She'd take it and read the book again over, I don't know, a decade or so. And one day she read the book again on vacation, and something resonated with, something struck her that she never saw before. And let me show you what it was. Do you have the,
I have the quote.
There's the book, Second Chance by Sydney Banks. You have the quote?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're so prepared.
Here's the quote.
Thank you. Okay, I won't go into the story, but basically he plays himself as Jonathan, or he writes the story about himself, who's a master, who's teaching this to a student. And he says to the student, I can't see that. Can you move that? In one of the quotes he said, the trouble is, he said, he gazed at me with total compassion on his face and answered, this is Sid Banks, who played Jonathan in the story. The trouble is, you see this world as the only reality that exists. You have trapped yourself on a level of consciousness. You must learn to take the limitations off life and see there are more realities than meet the eye. So this woman, Linda, saw that. That stuck out for the first time reading the book. She said 60 or 70 times. So wait a minute. Her insight was so beautiful. Sydney Banks said it so many times she never heard it. He said that there's multiple reality, infinite realities. And so she said, gosh, if I've been always overweight my whole life, and this is true, there's another reality that I can just access. I don't have to create it. I don't have to work hard. I can just get at the level of vibration, the energetic level of my goal, and we'll see what happens. And she had this knowing of what to do. And she took off, she's in her 60s, probably 70s now.
Mm-hmm.
Since she was a kid, she'd always been way overweight. One problem in her life. She lost 5 pounds the first month, 5 pounds the second month, 5 pounds the third. And after years, she just 60 pounds just fell off her.
Just slipped off her, she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I knew what to do. Maybe my body would say, eat this, don't eat that. But it wasn't very difficult. So wouldn't that be cool to become a champion or be able to take off a bunch of weight or attract a bunch of money as easy as it's ever been? And what if the reality that you desire, that you want, is already there? It already exists on another dimension, and you could kind of just slip into that dimension just easily. How many think that would be pretty cool? So you guys feel free to say that would be cool, say something, type in. So, share some stories and people that have. We just finished. We're in the middle of a. Well, we just finished 6 weeks of a course, and talk about. You may have seen the story of Christine Piona from Italy, where she did this process. We're going to share with you in a little bit, where I got this understanding. What happened to her? Amazing.
Amazing. She started before, when she started with the course, she was struggling financially. She wouldn't sleep. She couldn't sleep at night. So she suffered from insomnia.
Anxiety.
She had relationship issues with her daughter, all sorts of just struggled in a lot of areas of life. And so 6 weeks.
Extreme anxiety about money and losing everything.
Yeah, she had some deep-seated programs that she saw finally. And as we were going through this journey with her and understanding these three principles, she was able to easily and in an instant, when she saw these programs, it just fell away right away in an instant. And as you know, so what started to happen was, she started shifting energetically within herself. Effortlessly. And she says this was a deep transformation. Is the shift happened from very deep within her, and her energy just started, you could feel the energy within changing. And she started to sleep better. She started to attract more better financial situation.
Much better.
It's almost like she shifted into a new reality.
Mm-hmm.
And
she said it was very easy, and she's happy now. She's smiling. I could be just by being me. Yes. I now can, in her direct selling business, I can recruit people all day long.
Yeah.
She went to an event, and the teacher asked her to come up, and she'd already done this process. So they talked about it, and she could easily do this process. And it is for another, like a sales communication event, which she got paid for, by the way, so by somebody else. And the teacher was like, wow. And she recruited 25% of the room, came up to her during the break and said, who is this masked lady? Like, who are you? What do you know? What do you do? What is your bit? I want to know. And so they followed her into the bathroom to see her products, the ladies. And the next day she said, well, come tomorrow and I'll present you my laptop. And she just, it's just incredible. This is completely unrelated. So just talk about and then we have Jessica, who was stuck for about 6 or 8 months financially. And the first week she actually had a breakthrough. The two people that owed her money both paid her like 10, 20,000. Hilda. Mm-hmm. Hilda has been to India a couple times, and she's been to America from Europe many, many times. And she did and I think about 6 weeks into the course, she, that seems to be a 6-week thing. We're not sure why, but 6 weeks into the course, she had an aha from her childhood without doing any process or any digging about her mom that she had decided at about 3 years old, which is 40 years ago. And as soon as she saw that, it just was gone. Can you imagine a 40-year difficult program that you've worked on, you've dug and done all these courses, and in 6 weeks it's gone? She said it was easy. Miriam, you had Miriam here, or Miriam Dabrowski. Now you got a funny story. Because we don't have a lot of time, do you want me to tell it? But you had a dump truck, and you were thinking on your property. She has a huge property, but she had a dump truck in the garage. Like, I got to get rid of that. It'd be nice to get rid of that. It doesn't even work. It's all broken down. I'm going to call someone to take it away and pay someone to haul it away. And right about that time, the neighbor knocked on the door. Isn't that right? And said, what are you doing with that dump truck you used to have? And you said, well, it's beat to heck. I'm going to have somebody pay someone to take it away. And what did they give you? I want it. And you said, it's broken. Didn't they give you $2,500?
$2,500 cash. Yep.
$2,500 cash, right? Just like that. Oh, it's just, and a lot of other gains. You had ideas for businesses and websites, and gosh, what else? Tons of them. So you want to share a little bit about the principles, or the first?
Yeah, it's yeah, we wanted to go before we do the process, because this really is sort of the foundation for it, and then we're going to go into the process so you can experience what it feels like to be in, start attracting that reality. Let's first just go through something very quickly here so you can have a bit of a background. Let me pull it up here. Here we go. Can you all see that? Okay.
Is it?
It's called,
Can everybody see that?
yeah. Yeah. No, they can see it. Shoot. Pull this down. There we go. Ah, there we go.
Oh, so it's called the illusion of the three paradigms. So this will be the first kind of an overview of what Sydney Banks figured out. So what happened to Sydney Banks? I'll tell the story very quickly, but you get an idea of the power of his insight. In his early 40s, he was a very insecure man. Like he said, I was the most insecure person of all my insecure friends. No education, no background. He was immigrant from Scotland, a welder. He was on his second marriage. They were having a challenge, so they went to a counseling, a group counseling therapy session, and he didn't enjoy it at all. But during the break, he was having a cigarette break, and another counselor from next door was walking by. They started a conversation, and he said, "Oh, I'm here for this counseling with my wife. I hate counseling." And the guy said, "Oh, I'm a counselor too." He said, "Oh," and here's what he said. I hope I'm going to say it very slowly. He said, "Oh, you educated types, you PhD types make me very insecure." That's all he remembers the guy saying. He remembers saying to the gentleman, the professor. And the professor said something that absolutely changed his life and is now changing people all around the world who this clicks for. He said, "Oh, that's BS. That's just a thought." He said, "Have a good day," and he walked away. Well, Sydney Banks didn't know if that professor knew something, why he said that to him, but he had in a profound, deep enlightening experience. What happens when he realized that what the professor said, whether the professor knew it or not, that this insecure feelings he had was not really insecurity. He just had insecure thinking. And that insight allowed him to drop all his insecurities. Now, I never met Sydney, but if you watch anybody who knew him or his videos, like the most secure person you've ever met. He went around as an uneducated guy and taught professors, physicists, very educated people about this. And so that was just the first of that our feelings are coming from our thinking. So let's unpack that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So what you're looking at here is what we call the illusion of the three paradigms. And this is what most people are dealing with as they experience life. And so, when we're looking for happiness and somebody else or in a relationship, the outside in, if you look at the far right, there's a box that says outside in.
Well, first of all, the illusion of the three paradigms, there's three parts to it, really. Mm-hmm. So I just want to set this up a little bit, if I may.
Sure.
So are our feelings coming in from the inside we're feeling? Or are they coming from the outside? Outside stuff, events happen to us, and these are great feelings? Or is it a combination of things? Okay. So let's start by understanding there are two constants operating behind operating at all times, behind the scenes. And their mind or divine mind, this is one of the first principles, divine mind, infinite intelligence that's running the show, that's powering it all. And the next thing is consciousness, our awareness. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you don't have to worry about mind for now. That's divine energy. It's happening. It's what grows a baby. It's what heals a
Heals
wound.
limbs and wounds. It's what grows trees.
It
It's
also
what,
gives us answers and insights and ahas.
Mhm.
So you don't have to worry about, because that's going on whether you like it or know it or not. And then consciousness, the fact that you're aware, you already have awareness, you're aware. But let's look at this up here. This is all thought. So let's see where our experience, our thoughts and feelings, what's going on here. Okay.
Now, outside in is where we think our feelings are coming from something other than thought in the moment. So, like, for example, if Rich tells me something that hurts my feelings, I feel that my feelings are coming from him, or he's responsible for how he makes me feel, or the lack of finances is responsible for how I feel. So we call that the outside in. The outer circumstances of our lives is where our source of our feelings are coming from.
So that's one. Is it that?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, where does our experiences of life come from? So is it, so is it the outside in, or is it the inside out?
Which the inside out says feelings are coming from thought in the moment. So
that's what C.D. Banks realized, that
mm-hmm.
he said something like, I realized in that moment, there's no such thing as an insecure person. Listen to this, folks. There's not an insecure person in the world. I know people like, well, wait a minute. What the heck are you talking about? My neighbor, my friend, my brother, me. There's no such thing as an insecure person or an angry person or a depressed person. There are only people who have those thoughts, depressed or angry or insecure thinking. And then the body's job, consciousness's job, is to bring that to life. Mm-hmm. And we'll unpack that in a minute. And so it's kind of an innocent illusion to think that our feelings are coming from something outside of us. They're not. Events are definitely happening, but our feelings are coming from our thinking in the moment.
Mm-hmm. And some people think that it's a mix, So, there was a paradigm years ago where people used to think that the earth was flat, and they based everything. The lack of travels, they didn't want to go too far. So they had this belief system that if they traveled too far out, that they would fall off the end of the earth.
That'll change your navigation.
So that was
confidence.
A paradigm or a belief system that wasn't real, wasn't true. When they realized that the earth was round, that created a new paradigm, a new belief system.
A new understanding.
And from that, industries were created.
And also fear fell off people's mind. They didn't have to do anything. They had a new understanding that was more true. And all this fear fell off pilot or captain's minds and other people, passengers and other people. It just fell away. So that's when you say you don't have to do anything. When you understand it, this falseness, false beliefs and things, they just fall away. But what about like the mixed paradigm? A mixed paradigm would say, well, sometimes it's when somebody honks at me, I get mad, that's outside, it's their fault. And sometimes it doesn't even bother me when they do that. Well, wait a minute. That's kind of a mixed paradigm. Or when someone tells me that I'm stupid, I feel horrible. When they say I'm whatever, something else, that I'm insensitive or something, that doesn't bother me at all. Well, they're both some outside happening. So our feelings are coming only and always from our thinking, our thought in the moment. But it seems like it's mixed. It seems like sometimes it's a flat earth and sometimes it's round. But it is not. It's always round. Or gravity. You're a pilot. What about gravity?
Oh, gravity. We can't see gravity. We can't see. These are invisible truths. We cannot see them, but they exist. Like gravity.
What about before there was gravity?
We can't see. Before there was gravity, no one knew there was gravity. But once they discovered or uncovered the principle of gravity, then industries were created from that. Airplanes were created from that. All sorts of things was created from this invisible truth, this understanding.
And the three principles are the principles of divine mind, consciousness, and thought. And those three principles, Sydney Banks' understanding, or wisdom showed him a new paradigm, just like gravity or electricity. It was already there, or a flat earth, round earth truth, a bigger truth, or the germ theory. When that was proven that there was actually germs, Semmelweis in the 1850s or 1800s proved that it was germs. That's what was going on. And so any of these new understandings, what do they have? And so with the three principles, we're finding that it's a paradigm for effortless change. And it's a higher truth than anything I've ever seen. In fact, I haven't been able to disprove it in 10 years in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. So it's a new understanding of psychology and how we experience our reality. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, it's not the outside in or the mixed.
Mm-hmm. And the truth is that we are always experiencing our reality from the inside out. Everything that we're experiencing is via our thinking, is via our consciousness. That is all that's ever happening. And there was a story we heard about
the weather.
Even the weather.
What about politics? No, that's
in sports, we have coaches in sports that teach this understanding to golfers that want to really excel in their game. And there was a story that we had heard that one of the golfers' students was suffering from this golf course, and it was just troubling him. And they were all complaining about this golf course. Oh man, this golf course is just killing me. And the coach was saying,
the three principles coach with this understanding of me, right?
Yeah.
To one of the players was being coached by somebody who understood that. And he said to him, listen, he didn't have time. You know that this golf course couldn't possibly be affecting you. It's just hills and grass, but it's definitely you're thinking about it. So he's like, it helped him a little bit. He said, go over there and putt. And what do you call it? I don't know. Putt.
Do some drives
for 30 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. And then his mind calmed down and he's able to see clearly that, oh yeah, this course has nothing to do with my thinking or my feeling. Of course, he won the PGA.
He did.
Everybody else was super stressed out about the course. And he was like, just my thinking about it. So I can let that thinking go and enjoy the game and go win. Mm-hmm. So how is that helpful for people in their feelings, their emotions, and also success?
Oh, it's huge in terms when it comes to success. Because people will say to us, a lot of our students would say, I'm in a business that I'm suffering from, or I'm doing this is causing me, stress and all that. But so we ask the question, is it really that the business is stressing you out, or is it you're thinking about the business? Is it your own thinking? And we can use a lemon example. Let me just give you a quick example of this truth, of this inside out, that we're always experiencing our thinking in the moment.
We're experiencing usually as feelings, our thoughts. We could prove it to you right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So imagine that you're biting into a lemon and really taste that lemon and notice what happens. Notice how your body is giving you feedback from that thought that you're biting into this lemon.
So just a reminder, if you just think about squeezing or biting a lemon, just have a thought, and you're not really energizing or going into it. It's just a thought, what do you mean? Just bite a lemon, squeeze a lemon in my mouth. But we're asking you to imagine yourself actually squeezing the lemon in your mouth and tasting the juice. In other words, go into it a little bit. And then what happens? Did it to my mouth. It kind of waters.
I've started salivating.
But the thing is, there's no lemon. It's only the thought of a lemon that will make my body react and give me an experience of a lemon.
It makes it feel real.
And feel real. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I love that. It makes it feel real. It's a trick of the mind, innocent. That feels really real to me. But is it real?
Yeah, where's the lemon?
So if that's kind of a simple, we came up with that. a simple way to show that our thinking, we literally feel our thinking moment to moment, and that's all that's going on. And it's so relieving. I think we find it for us and our students or our friends that we're sharing this with, finding it, maybe not on like right now, maybe some of you are, some of you are not, but a couple days later, a week later, a month later, like, oh my gosh, oh, my boss, I thought I wanted to kill him, and he's not affecting me at all. You know, it's got nothing to do with it. What he's saying is he's being a jerk, but it's got nothing to do with me. And that boss just turns around and we know people that the boss will walk in and decimate the room. Like, God, they're throwing stuff and screaming, God damn you. Except the one person who knows this, our daughter, will sit there and he'll walk in and screaming at everybody. He'll look at her and go, huh. And he'll just walk away. He doesn't know what to do with her. She knows that she's not triggered by her thoughts, her feeling. Everybody else is, and he can feel that. So he just goes on to the next person. And in fact, our daughter's boss goes, all the employees and her boss go to her to talk to the owner because she's not afraid of him. Oh, okay. I don't know if as that. So that's kind of the single paradigm. We love that example. Mm-hmm. That it's only and always this one. It feels like it's the middle and this one, the outside in, but it's only and always coming only. There's nothing. So we're experiencing life. We're experiencing reality via our thinking. Mm-hmm. Not what's happening to us, not the events or the circumstances or the situations. We're not experiencing that. Our interpretation or our thoughts about that. And those are translated into feelings. And then that's where we know that we can back off our thinking, which is another lesson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does anybody have any?
Anyone have any?
Can you do the chat box?
Let's stop sharing. Anybody
questions
have any questions or any feedback or that's.
Oh, I hear you now. Detroit. I just watched Saturday's course yesterday. Who's this? Jocelyn. I just watched Saturday's course yesterday. Cracking up. We found $200 bills in our sunglass case on Saturday afternoon. Okay.
There you go.
That's great, Jocelyn. At 2 different grocery stores last week, I was offered free items, not quite 200, but still demonstrating manifesting. Jeff, makes perfect sense. Yeah. It's really common sense that is so simple that it almost sometimes takes a little while to hear. I did a 3-day course, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. 3-day course, and I left and I said, I have no idea what they're talking about. She would say, how was the course? It was great. What did you learn? I don't know. What did they talk about? I don't know, these 3 principles or how, I don't know. Was I different?
You're a lot more calmer. I mean, you were more, I don't know, centered, I would say. More, your energy was more just calm. I could sense that. But you were a little confused, but you were calmer.
Like, this is too simple.
How could this be this simple?
No, I need processes and books.
The mind needs complexity. Yeah. The mind needs to think and figure things out. We have to dig and dig and dig and pull out the roots. That's what we're used to.
You got to attack that ego. Go kill that thing.
Dig and find those programs and look into that.
Look into my childhood when the neighbor stuck a carrot in my ear when I was 6. And I got to do all that stuff. Right? Xenia was saying, had some great gains. I won't share all but for time, but she had a $3,000 gain on one, and I think $1,000 on something else. And she got grandfathered or scholarshiped into a course, a world-class coach on what she does, digital marketing, and just a lot of insights of forgiveness and this and that, and very simple. Is that right, Xenia? And these are all carrot in the ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So the gains, great stuff. Would you recommend this to people, Xenia? I know you've done a lot of different things. highly. Oh, I thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you want to do some process? So show us a little bit of.
Yeah. So we wanted to just set the tone for what we're about to do right now and give you a little bit of a background.
Because that understanding, we can unpack that in 1 hour and sometimes about 6 to 8 hours. We have a course that we just finished that was 6 sessions. Well, we're in the middle of, after 6 sessions, we stopped and recorded it and packaged it. And that course, sold out for $1,500 or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm dizzy, but so sorry. I can't remember the whatever, but we just finished that part of the course. And at the end, once people got that understanding in the 6 weeks, some people got it in like week 1, week 2. I got it in year 3. So don't worry if you get it in week 6, don't worry. That's fine. But they got this understanding and they're more at peace with their relationships all across the board, that deep transformation. And Christina from Italy talked about, she's done a lot of courses, and it wasn't this little thing on an area or one targeted area goal. And it wasn't on a more broader area. It was on like me, dig down who I am, knowing who I am in a very deep level. And all I have, she said, I love it on that testimonial. All I have to do now is be me. And everything is showing up. That's been a lifetime dream since I was little. Can I just be myself? So realizing that is super cool. And that was on our 6-week course. And I'm not sure, but it's why it's 6 weeks. Do you have an idea why?
I don't know why. It's just how it just unfolded to me. 6 weeks.
Week 3 was great. Week 4 was better. Week 5, week 6, it clicked.
Well, we dived deep into this understanding.
And Monica, you had a great,
yeah.
I think it was week 6 or 7. You had a kind of an aha at the end of 7, I think.
Are you talking about the first course?
So in a minute, let's do a little process. And then we have a course that's $51 or $5,200 6-month course that we're rolling out, and some other stuff that we'll share with you in a minute. Okay. So let's just relax and get people. DaughterNeedsIPhone.com. Okay. All right. So everybody, if you would, most people are probably sitting down.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's go ahead and relax, and we're gonna have this experience together.
What we're gonna do is have you do some thinking, but really more move from the thinking to experiencing or feeling, because the secret is in the feeling. And so we want to show you that, but you want to share a little bit about the secrets in the feeling. And that's where all that Sydney Banks and many masters, but Sydney Banks Insight, it's the feeling. Like Monica, you just got this recently. That's the feeling is the guide. And I just hit this literally on another level last night when I was sick, and I thought, oh, this is not going to go on for another week or two. I don't want this to go on for a week or two. I got to train. I got stuff I got to do. So I just got into the feeling of it. And I went thinking what I want. I want to be healthy, perfect body. I went into the feeling. How would that feel? And I got this, wow, that'd feel awesome. And I was kind of daydreaming, like, oh, how fun. Oh. And I realized I feel awesome right now. And suddenly my throat was sore. It wasn't all this phlegm and all this headache. And it just started to dissipate in minutes. And I woke up, you said, how you feeling? I said, I feel pretty good. I think it's about 90% gone. So it's the feeling. And the feeling is the energy, and everything's energy, or the vibration. Just we vibrate. It's all energy.
I'm going to type this in. I'm going to type a few things in here, you guys, for you guys.
Feeling is the secret. And City Bank said you follow a feeling. And if you follow that nice feeling, it'll guide you perfectly through your entire life, because your feeling is your source, who you really are. That's a divine mind. That's infinite intelligence. That's that guiding light, that North Star that tells you what to do or guides you. So we want to get them to a nice feeling.
Yeah. One of the biggest insights I always thought about, you know, why we want goals in life, why we want change and transformation, because a lot of us don't feel happy with what we have right now. You know, there's something within us that feels it wants more, and we're unsatisfied.
And it's kind of our nature to want to expand
Mhm.
and to grow and expand and know who we are and bring cool stuff to the world or cool creative ideas.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it's our nature to want to seek to grow and expand. And then we get stuck in our head.
You get stuck with resistance.
Resistance.
We used to teach a course years ago called Goals and Resistance. And it was designed because we understood that whenever people created goals in life, equally came the resistance.
So the way we found it, we stumbled recently across a very easy way to erase or dissolve the resistance, which you have to do. You got to dissolve that. That allows you to expand because you have a goal and the resistance here. When you get rid of the resistance, you just begin to expand.
Mm-hmm.
Your energy grows. You become on the vibrational level of that which you're seeking. So it's just releasing resistance is the key, but it's very easy to do. So let's do it.
Very, very easy to do. So let's go ahead and just sit, have a comfortable sitting where you're at. And let's take some deep breaths together.
Can I work with you, Jeff? Or somebody else?
Who'd like to work with us?
Somebody new. Jeff is new. Got a couple other. Oh, Jeff, sure. Jeff, can you unmute yourself, please? Is that possible?
I'll go ahead and unmute you. I don't know if I can though. Are you able to mute yourself, Jeff?
Yep, I just figured out.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Can you hear me, Jeff?
I can hear you loud and clear. Hello.
Oh, hold on. It's us. It's our end.
Oh,
Okay. All right. You should be able to hear us. Okay.
can we hear Jeff?
Yes, hello.
There you
All
go.
right, Jeff. We're back.
Hey.
Think of maybe. I wouldn't recommend right now you think of your biggest goal, most important goal for now. But in the process, during this, like for example, our 6-week course, you get to experience this. It gets to the point where it's no problem. You can think of anything. But right now, let's keep it real simple. Think of a goal you'd like to achieve or something you'd like to improve, your sales or income.
Simple goal, just making $100 a day.
Okay, well, that's a very simple one. Okay. We've already got a couple people on the call that are doing that, finding around the house. And they're not making it. Notice I don't see the word we found. I was offered a free items. They were offered, they found. So wasn't even make. Okay, so.
Everyone else, think of something simple for yourself to follow us.
And Jeff, it's sort of like a daydreaming, don't make it a big thing. Just kind of think, wow, that'd be nice. And what would that feel like what would that feel? Now we're moving into the thought, but the feeling, what would it feel like if you had $100 coming in like every day? And you just knew you could wake up and have an intention and it would just happen like clockwork every single day. What would that feel like?
It'd be comfortable, very comfortable.
Yeah, relieving, comfortable.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, and just make them more. And what I want you to do is actually now just kind of put yourself in the physiology of this excellence, this amazing. Sit how you sit. You'll notice if you knew, like we have somebody called us today, and he's got $4,000 coming in for the next 10 years. He's 55, so the next 10 years. He just got a simple deal. He almost did nothing, and he just flipped something which he thought was worthless. He's got $4,000 coming in for the next decade. And also that investment's probably going to double from $400,000 to $800,000. Yeah, he's going to double his money by then too. But that's just from this understanding. We taught him many years ago, and he called to thank us today, saying, hey, it works. It's still working. I'm at peace. I don't have any problems. You know, I have a daughter, this and that, but she's kind of coming along. I'm not worried. She'll figure it out. This, and I wanted to tell you I've made more in the last 5 weeks than my whole life ever. 5-week period. What'd you do? And he said, nothing. Had a simple idea. I was helping a friend. He flaked out. I took over the business. Somebody else bought it. And I made $325,000. And they're going to pay me over 10 years. And then I own the asset and blah, blah, blah. This is one of our students from a little bit ago calling us. So what would that be like for you, Jeff, if you could just kind of slay that money dragon little by little, effortlessly? And everybody else get the feeling that would be almost like daydreaming. Like maybe it's not going to happen, but I'm going to daydream and fantasize about it and see how that feels. So it's kind of playing with your imagination and your feelings. And how does that, and everybody sit to get your body in this, like, would you be relaxed? Maybe your eyes would be relaxed, maybe even defocused. That's how we teach athletes. Martial arts, we defocus our eyes. That just gets us in a zone. You unhinge your jaw, relax your jaw, especially your shoulders. You breathe nice, relaxed breathing. See what you see, or hear what you hear, or feel what you feel that's more real for you. And how's that, Jeff?
It's great.
A lot better, right? Are you biting?
Much better to think about that.
What's that?
Much better to think about things like that.
Yeah, and think about it, but I really want to emphasize the word feel.
Oh, the feel, yeah.
Oh, the feel is where all the juice is. That's why we do this. That's why human beings come here, because we want to experience the joy of expression and experiences and creation and expanding and all that. And the good news is we can do that now before we get the goal, which makes it so you don't care about the goal, which makes it typically come to you. And make that even more real. Relax, everybody. Feel what you feel. Feel it real, we could say. Anything else?
If there's any thoughts that come, just notice that they're just thoughts.
Oh, I love that. Go ahead. If there's any thought.
Now you've noticed sometimes you might have some thoughts that come, like, what is this? It's just thoughts. Little ego starts to chitter chatter. But just notice that the nature of thought is just energy. Thoughts is energy.
Oh, and I also want to say thoughts are neutral. We're
Neutral.
getting into lesson 3, but we have to tell you this. Thoughts are neutral. So we think, oh, I had this horrible thought. It's just neutral. It's like all thoughts are neutral. You think of Adolf Hitler, the worst guy in the world, and you think of Mother Teresa. They're both neutral until we energize them. He was a horrible guy. Then you feel, and she was a wonderful woman. I just thought of those just now, but those thoughts are neutral. Sydney Banks' genius was all thoughts are neutral until we energize them, make it real. So if you have a thought come up, just notice that it could be actually, allow it to be neutral. You don't need to energize it or go into it.
Yeah, just allow it to pass through. Thoughts are energy. Just allow them to flow by.
You actually don't even need to flow by it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a doing, you don't, do we need to even?
It's true. Just notice that it's just, they're all neutral.
Maybe understand that,
Mm-hmm.
understand maybe. See if that helps people. Anybody else want to thumbs up or chime in or text or what do you call it, chat in? Or Bobby, how you doing, brother?
Feeling neutral.
Nice. And does it feel more real?
Yes. Yes,
Nice.
it does.
Feels buoyant.
Was that? Buoyant. I like that. Anybody else share what they're feeling? We got, Bobby says, What did he say? Neutral and nice. What did he say? I'm sorry, I forgot that. Xenia says buoyant. Somebody else said kind of, Jeff, I think somebody said a feeling of relief. But just notice, there's nothing to really do but notice. You don't have to try and stay in this state. People call us and say, relax, blissfully unattached, Joss. Okay. So the cool thing is there's no need to attempt to do this or stay in this state. What we're sharing with people is that Sydney Banks' understanding is that our feelings are always, our thinking is always creating feelings. So when we have better thoughts, we have better feelings. And that's all that's really going on. So we don't have to do anything but notice. If I'm not feeling good, then I probably don't have great thinking in the moment. That's all. And you could let it go or realize that it's neutral. It's just a thought you're having that's not real. And so this process can work anytime you notice yourself not feeling well, you'll notice you're probably caught up in your thinking a bit. And the thoughts aren't so great. But remember, they're not real, they're neutral. And then we give them this power. All right.
So let's just take a second and feel it. Just allow it to expand, this feeling, because what you're feeling is what Sid would say, your true nature. Your innate nature is good feeling, is feeling love and happiness is our true nature. It's that alignment with that feeling allows us, if we can just notice ourselves and allow our feelings to guide our, let the good feelings guide you through life. Because with the good feelings comes sometimes new thought, new inspired thought that gives you an insight or gives you a new idea that wasn't available to you because maybe we're caught up in our thinking of how to solve it. So the feeling is how we start to align ourselves in the new reality that we are drawing to us.
Now, so I like to ask everybody what would it be like if you had this feeling and you could access this on a regular basis? And I know everybody, it's important to you. You wouldn't be on the call, but what if you couldn't get? What would it be like if you couldn't do this? If you never really got this and you didn't get, or you forgot that the feeling is the secret, and we went into our head and kind of analyzed and hard work and effort and all these processes. What would it be like if you forgot that? So that's kind of painful. So it's very important what we're doing. But it's very important that we remember this, or we deepen it. We have a way, we want to transition to a little bit about what we're going to launch about. We found that 6 weeks is a magic number. And so we recently we did a course and the results were off the chart, so much so that we decided to continue, and we edited it and we pared it down. So it's 6 lessons. Do you have that on anywhere? If it would, let's just spend a minute sharing what we have, because we have something that we're launching, and some of you may want to. It's the $5,000 Mother of All Courses. What would that be? MOAC. And we're launching it in August. So you guys are the first to hear about it. And I just want to take a minute to share, because we're having something cool going on.
This is a sneak preview, guys. No one else has seen it yet.
Yeah, you guys are the first. Nobody's seen it but Suzanne and I, and maybe Kathy, 1 or 2 other people. Maybe Jen and Kathy and a couple people. We shared because we wanted to get their feedback, and the feedback was, why so cheap? Okay, so basically it's a digital on-demand course that includes, that's the 6 coaching sessions that we do. It's 20, downloadable. The good news is you don't have to do like the people who did the live course. They had to be available every Saturday from 8 to 9. The good news, it's 24/7. And it doesn't have to take 6 weeks like they did. It could be done in a month, or 6 hours. It could be 6 days at your Oops. At your speed. Okay, so for a limited time, we're adding some bonuses to it. We have a Q&A live, to the digital 6-week course downloadable. That's 2 of these hour-long questions with our sessions with us.
Mm-hmm.
Q&A, doing these processes, making sure that it goes deep, that it's not just making sure that the transformation sticks. That's what we're obsessed about. That the transformation is total and complete in all areas. Well, that the understanding is there in all areas with those 3 principles, and then that permeates in all areas, if that makes sense. Okay. Then we have second bonus, which is called CAP, which is Clarity, Abundance, and Prosperity session. And that's the reality you desire already. That's this one. We do that, or we have that as a bonus, an hour-long session, hour and a half session. Is that downloadable?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's downloadable. And so you have that. And that class, that course, we have sold that for $1,900. We've sold that all around the world. We had 200 or 300 people buy this when we did this demonstration, Vail, Colorado. And now we have that. We never recorded that and gave it out, but we recorded this one. I have recordings from the past. We were told not to give it out, but the person who ran because it was so valuable. We're going to have it, and you will have it for life. Once you download it, that course is yours. Okay. What's this? Oh,
Membership. And then we have a private membership for our paid members, and we're offering 6 months access to that, where you're getting more group support and more support and resources
and
from us.
content.
Mm-hmm.
So this, again, we put this for 6 months. We charge $50 a month for the course. I mean, for the access, but so for 6 months, that's $300. We're going to allow anybody who gets involved in the pre-launch to have 6-month access. And why that's important is because we have all these little things we're doing. Again, group coaching, like the downloadable, and the coaching with us, and then the CAP training, and we'll show you something. We have that, and it's kind of a 6-month course. So we wanted you to have access to the membership so you can continue the growth or the understanding. Bonus 4 is brand new. We're going to give not 1 ticket, but 2 tickets to our 4-day intensive. About $2,000 for those each. 4-day intensive is going to be Saturday, Sunday, 2 hours Saturday, 2 hours Sunday. The following weekend, 2 hours Saturday morning, 2 hours Sunday morning. So 8 hours. So basically like a 2-month course, but it's crammed into an intensive Saturday, Sunday weekend mornings. And it's going to be in September. And we may have a second one even in November if it fills up. And that, that's 2 passes, 2 free guest passes to that 4-day. And you're going to be on the call. You do that, you're going to be not pay a nickel. And I guarantee I'm going to say on the call, hey, what did you guys pay for that? Was it $2,000? You're going to hear people going, I paid $1,900 for this. Just to make you feel better.
And the last one is a limited one because we have only so much time we can spend with every single person, but we're offering a private one-on-one session, coaching session for the first 10 people.
Well, we offered, last time we did this 6-week course, last time before we offered for the first 10 people, and I think it was 2 days before it started, and in those 48 hours, 15 people signed up, and so we ended up not knowing what to do, so we gave 15 people the free hour with us. Mm-hmm. So this time I think we're going to have to, because it's going to probably fill up in 2 days, so we'll probably have to change that to the first 20. You'll do 10, I'll do 10.
That's fair.
Okay. And that's a free hour with us. We charge $300 to $400, as much as $500 for CEOs in Silicon Valley. And we've seen them do amazing things. This is very important to us because this helps you make sure if something's past confusing or not working with this or not understanding, we make sure that it clicks for you. So that's a really important thing for us. And the value of all that, again, that was $5,600, $41. That's the value of everything. And that's real value because we're going to do on the call. This isn't just value like downloadable things. It's all free reports. We're actually on this. So it's our time. Real value of $5,600. It's going to be, I'm sorry, we don't have it's going to be $1,500 in August. But between now and the end of the month, which is July 31st, which is is it Wednesday?
It's Wednesday.
July, at the end of the month. For the first 20 people, it's $497 one-time payment. So you get everything, all the bonuses, everything, and then after that, the bonus going to, and it's never going to be at that price, $497. After August 1st, it will never go for $497. This is just pre-introductory, friends and family invite, people that are on our Facebook page, to invite people, to encourage people to jump on and be the first ones. And so that's what we have available for you guys. You have to let you know that this sounds awesome. I'm going to get and make the sales.
Yeah.
The 5K program is available, but it's $500, not $497. Now, at the end of the month, it goes up, or after the first 20 people. Now, we're letting everybody know now. We're going to be putting on this Facebook that we're launching it starting tomorrow. So, little fair warning. Last time we did this, within 2 days, 48 hours, all 15 spots locked. We had 10, 15 sold out. So 20 will sell out probably in the next 2 days, we think. So what's tomorrow? Thursday and Friday. Probably by Friday, the 20 for pre-launch, Josh says. Dang, I know. Sorry you paid more from before, but this is a pre-launch and we're so excited about it. So any of you guys want to do it, just join, go to the offer page, join, sign up, be one of the first 20 so you get all your free bonuses. After that, half the bonus go away. You're still going to get the Q&A with us and the cap call, but all the other bonuses go away, including the fast action. The 2 free tickets to our one we do virtual boot camp go away. Oh, she doesn't understand. It's not 5K.
It's valued at 5K.
It's 500 to 497 between now. Yeah.
And the reason why we're doing it this low is because we really feel so passionate about what this is doing for people. And we want to invite more people into the community. So if you know people who really could use some more effortless change in their life, and they're just sick and tired of having to go through all the personal growth stuff that's out there, and they just want to get straight to the truth and really go deep, then this would be for them. And we really want to encourage people to start sharing this. And that's why we made it so low, so we can get it as many people to sharing this.
This was a very tough decision for us. We went weeks on that 497. We're like, oh man, we can't give it away. That people won't appreciate it. We had to do some releasing on this part. So we made a decision that so the first 20 people, so we recommend if you want to do it, think about it. But don't wait too long, because I think the next 2, and we're not going to go over 20 people. I'm not doing it this time. We need a life.
And we love you all.
Love you all, but we're gonna cut it at 20 people. Okay, so I hope that helps everybody.
Yeah. Is anyone
Rich, can I speak?
So we're gonna stop the share, or do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Appreciate you.
If you know some people, this would be great. If you know people who want to get what you did and you want them to get it, not the price that some of you paid a lot more than this.
Someone has a question. Who had a question? I think Josh on it.
I love it. It's not 5,000. Xenia said, no, it's not 5,000. It's 500, and then take a vacay with the other 4,500.
So also, I'm recording this, and so I can give you guys the link so you can share it with other people. If you want them to go through and listen to this, I'll make that available.
You're going to give them to share this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, if that would help, that would be great.
Would that help if we put this link out for you guys, and then you could share that with people, and if they're interested, they could see what it is? We're in a little bit of a rush because we want the first 20 people to be done so that we can up the price.
Rich, this is Bobby. Can I speak?
Make sure you guys get the link. All right, guys. I love you all. We're gonna
much love. Bobby. Bobby has a question.
Bobby had a question.
Brother Bobby.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to say and let everybody know that after you shared
chat manager, Kathy's our posting manager now, and Xenia's our chat.
I don't see the.
By the way, Xenia, thanks for doing all this, and Kathy, thanks for all your posting and stuff. I love those quotes.
You're welcome. I just know Bobby was trying to say.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm not. My phone. My speaker thing is. Sorry, you guys.
Can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Here you go. I can hear
Bobby?
you guys now. Yeah. Go ahead.
Go, Bobby.
Sorry, Bobby.
Go, Bobby.
It's our end.
What does Bobby play?
He's muted now.
Oh.
Bob, what is the trombone? No, the
What was it? Does anyone know the question?
I think it was a comment, and I think he was going to say thanks for a great call.
oh,
But I don't
okay.
know.
Bobby, can you type in? Can you chat or unmute or smoke signals, something?
Well, he's on his iPhone, so that might be a little tricky.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
you're right. That's
Hey,
right.
thank you, Kath. Thank you, Kathy, for all your help and support with the you know, what do you call
the
that?
post.
The posts. Xenia, thanks for the
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
that
thank
means
you.
great.
Yeah.
I know it's just a start, right? But just getting going. But that's so cool to see somebody other than us doing. I'm like, oh, that's cool, Susanna. She goes, I didn't do that. Kathy does it.
I didn't do it.
That's so cool.
It's a joy.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Xenia. And we're going to get going. Anybody has any questions, then everybody you're free to go. Love you guys. So much.
Adios.
Adios. Great
All right, have a
news.
good night, everyone.